Dear student, welcome to Kiran. In this session, we are discussing about textual questions and answers. First question, why should be a magnesium ribbon be cleaned before it is burnt in air? Dear student, why do we clean magnesium ribbon before it is burnt in air? Dear student, the answer is very simple. Magnesium ribbon is very reactive metal. When stored, it reacts with oxygen to form a layer of magnesium oxide on its surface. This layer of magnesium oxide is quite stable and prevents further reaction of magnesium with oxygen. The magnesium ribbon is cleaned by sandpaper for removing this layer so that the underlying metal can be exposed to air. Here, dear student, magnesium metal is very reactive. It rapidly reacts with atmospheric oxygen and results in the formation of magnesium oxide. This magnesium oxide forms layer on the surface of a magnesium ribbon. This layer, that is magnesium oxide, is quite stable. It doesn't react with atmospheric oxygen and hence it prevents further reaction of magnesium with oxygen. Because of this reason, magnesium ribbon needs to clean before it is burnt in air. Dear student, second question, write the balanced equations for the following chemical reactions. Here, chemical reactions are given. 3 chemical reactions are given. For all these chemical reactions, we have to write balanced equations. First one is hydrogen reacts with chlorine to form hydrogen chloride. Second one is barium chloride reacts with aluminum sulfate and results in the formation of barium sulfate and aluminum chloride. And third chemical reaction is sodium reacts with water, gives rise to sodium hydroxide and hydrogen. Student, let us balance all these equations. Dear student, let us consider first chemical reaction. Here, first we have to draw boxes around the elements and compounds. Then we have to list number of atoms with respect to elements and compound. Here, in reactant side, hydrogen has 2 atoms. Product side, hydrogen has only 1 atom. Chlorine has 2 atoms at its reactant side and product side, chlorine has only 1 atom and hence the given equation is unbalanced. To equalize the number of atoms on both the sides, we have to consider first the element hydrogen. Here, reactant side hydrogen has 2 atoms, product side hydrogen has only 1 atom. So that to make number of atoms of hydrogen 2, first we have to add coefficient before the compound HCl. So when we add the coefficient 2 in front of the compound HCl, now hydrogen atoms on both the sides equalized. Then if we consider here in case of the chlorine atoms, if we count, if we consider the number of atoms of chlorine, here 2 and here also number of atoms of chlorine 2, and hence on both the sides the number of atoms of both hydrogen and chlorine are equal, and hence the chemical reaction is balanced. Dear student, now in this chemical reaction we have to draw boxes around each compound. Then we have to calculate number of atoms of each element on both reactant and product side. After counting, after listing the number of atoms on both the side, now we have to consider first in this reaction the atoms of aluminium. Here on reactant side, aluminium has two atoms of its woven. On product side, aluminium has only one atom. And hence, to equalize aluminum atoms on both the side, we have to add coefficient 2 in front of aluminum chloride. After adding coefficient 2 in front of aluminum chloride, now the atoms of aluminum on both the side equalized. Now, after adding coefficient to aluminum chloride, here the number of atoms of chlorine increased to 6. In product side, number of chlorine atoms are 6, but in reactant side, chlorine has only 2 atoms. To equalize number of atoms of chlorine, we have to add 3 as a coefficient in front of barium chloride. Now, both the side chlorine atoms are equalized. Then, after adding coefficient to the barium chloride, the number of barium atoms became 3, but product side barium has only one atom. To equalize barium atoms, again we have to add 3 as a coefficient in front of barium sulfate. So now, after adding coefficient to the barium sulfate on both the side, number of atoms of barium equalized and number of chlorine atoms also equalized. Now, the sulfur has only one atom on reactant side. It has only one atom on product side. So, atoms of sulfur are equalized. Now, if we consider the oxygen, oxygen has 12 atoms on reactant side and 12 atoms on product side, and hence the whole chemical reaction is equalized. Now the whole chemical reaction is balanced. In this chemical reaction, now first we have to draw boxes around each element and compound, and then we have to count the number of atoms of each element on both the sides like reactants and products. On reactant side, hydrogen has 2 atoms. On product side, hydrogen has 3 atoms. Sodium has 1 atom of its woven on reactant side. Sodium has 1 atom on product side. Then oxygen has only 1 atom on both the sides. Now, after listing the number of atoms on both the sides, we have to equalize the number of atoms of each element on both the side. Dear student, first we have to consider number of atoms of hydrogen on both the side. On product side, hydrogen has 3 atoms. On reactant side, hydrogen has only 2 atoms. And hence, we have to add 2 as a coefficient in front of sodium hydroxide. Here, 2 added as a coefficient in front of sodium hydroxide. Now, if we count number of hydrogen atoms on both the side, reactant side number of hydrogen atoms are 2, but here in product side number of hydrogen atoms are 4. To equalize the number of hydrogen atoms on both the side, now we have to add 2 as a coefficient in front of water. We have to add 2 as a coefficient in front of water molecule. So now if we calculate number of hydrogen atoms on both the side, these hydrogen atoms are equalized. On reactant side, hydrogen has 4 atoms. On the product side also, hydrogen has 4 atoms. Here in NaOH, hydrogen has 2 atoms, and here 2 atoms. Totally, product side, hydrogen has 4 atoms. Now hydrogen atoms are equalized. Then consider the number of oxygen atoms on both the sides. So number of oxygen atoms on both the side are already equalized. Here 2 atoms of oxygen, and here also 2 atoms of oxygen. On both the side, oxygen atoms are equalized. Then sodium element is remaining. Here on product side, sodium has 2 atoms, but on reactant side, sodium has only 1 atom. To equalize number of atoms of sodium, we have to add 2 as a coefficient in front of sodium element. Now on both the side, sodium elements also equalized. Dear student, now on both the side, each and every element has equal number of atoms, and hence this chemical reaction said to be balanced chemical reaction. Dear student, here we have to write a balanced chemical equation with state symbols for the following reactions. Here two reactions are given in word form. We have to write a balanced chemical equation for these 2 statements, and at the same time we have to state the symbols. The question is, write a balanced chemical equation with state symbols for the following reaction. First one is, solutions of barium chloride and sodium sulfate in water react to give insoluble barium sulfate and the solution of sodium chloride. In second equation, sodium hydroxide solution in water reacts with hydrochloric acid solution, that is to be in water, to produce sodium chloride solution and water. Here, first equation, if we consider solutions of barium chloride and sodium sulfate in water react to give insoluble barium sulfate and the solution of sodium chloride. So here barium chloride reacts with sodium sulfate in water and gives rise to insoluble barium sulfate and solution of sodium chloride. Now we have to state the symbols. This is the balanced reaction for the first chemical statement. So here in barium chloride, this barium chloride is aqueous solution, and at the same time sodium sulfate also aqueous solution. Then the barium sulfate is in a solid form. S represents solid form, and sodium chloride is a liquid, that is L represents liquid. In this statement, sodium hydroxide solution reacts with hydrochloric acid solution to produce sodium chloride solution and water. Dear student, this is the balanced chemical reaction for this statement. And if we consider the symbols in this chemical reaction, these symbols states like this. Here NaOH is in liquid form, then HCl represented by the symbol L, and hence it is in a liquid form. NaCl represented by L again, and it is also in liquid form, and water is also in liquid form, and hence This is the balanced equation for the statement, and at the same time we have also stated the symbols. Dear students, from next session onwards, you will be given by set of questions for practice. These questions enhances your textual knowledge. Keep watching. Thank you.